Howdy team, today I want to talk to you about managing your increased lead volume, managing the increased work load that you're probably carrying. I've had a lot of my mentees, my clients, mortgage brokers reaching out and basically wanting to talk about how you can get more done in a day, how you can focus, how you can make sure that you take on the right person in your business next. Many wanting to get administrators, get PAs, get some support within the business, and having a lot of these conversations. It's something that we've definitely noticed. I'm running reports at the moment, looking at our conversions and looking at the figures and stats of the business, and wanting to make sure that we've got enough people in the team to manage our own lead volume, because it's definitely increasing. So I'm going to give you a few ideas, hints, tips, strategies, tactics that you can put into your business following the conversations that I've had.
Welcome to the Financial Pro Podcast.
Most of the conversations that I've been having are about diary management, time management, client management. And I think there's a few things that you can do to make sure that you stay on top of your game. And that's going to be, first of all, looking at the tasks that you're doing on a day-to-day. There's often a lot of fear around recruitment and taking people on and bringing people into your business. But if you can focus on the most important activities that only you can do, and you can get somebody else to do the lower stuff for you, in the terms of phoning mortgage lenders, updating documents, passing them on to your network, solicitors, some of this stuff, a lot of this stuff can actually be non-client facing and can just support you in order to be able to get more done. Now, there is going to be an advantage having somebody with experience, but it's going to cost you more. So I don't see it as a cost either. I see it as an investment in people, because the time that you save is going to get back the time that you need to get more business written. So generally, you might find that you pay £1,500 a month in salary, but if you can get another mortgage done as a result of that, or another life insurance sold as a result of that, that's only £70 worth of premium. If you can do that every single month, then you've covered your cost. Plus you've saved even more time. So having somebody who can do those lower value tasks is vital. Now, experience is going to cost you more. Inexperience is going to take you longer to train. Either way, as I mentioned on previous lives this week, it is vital that you allow them to shadow you for 1 to 2 weeks. Do some of the things that, take you time, sitting on hold, scanning in documents, attaching them to systems, but mostly writing systems and processes and checklists. And then over time, micromanaging essentially from the outset and making sure that they do things your way. And then over time, you can release those reins slowly but surely, giving them more freedom and autonomy, and allowing them to, do the things the way in which they have been trained to do. That's the most important. That's the most important thing, is to look at where you are potentially wasting time. And it could be that you take on somebody, lower part-time. I've said it many times before about going into your local Facebook group, 9:30 till 3 o'clock. I need an experienced PA or administrator. Ideally go for a PA, I feel, because you get a better caliber of person, and they're used to managing multiple different things in one go, which is going to enable you to leverage your time better. I've had people inquire with 6-figure salaries from previous employments who don't want to go back to work in London, for example, but are just now wanting to work around their children. And having somebody in your business 5 days per week to support you is vital. So that's kind of point number one. Point number two is based on the increased volume of leads. 2 things that you need to consider. You need to think about increasing your SLAs, your service level agreement. If you used to take 1 day, 2 day, 3 day to do your research, then you need to increase that. And that's going to relieve some stress, and that's going to relieve some frustration. And it's vital that you do that, and you lay those out in the first conversation that you had. The second thing at the present time is potentially looking at your fees, because you need to understand your capacity. And often a fear when starting out or being a mortgage broker or being a sole trader or a business owner is that constant necessity to say yes. And that constant necessity to say yes can often keep you trapped and stuck. And it can keep you overwhelmed, procrastinating, and extremely busy. When in actual fact, if you get a client that you know is not an ideal client, it is perfectly fine to say no. And this is where I think it's actually vital that mortgage brokers, IFAs, will writers, insurance advisors look to partnership, look to collaborate. Because if you get somebody who's got serious medical conditions, for example, and they want life insurance to cover their mortgage, and you spend hours doing research, that's hours that you could spend actually focusing on your superpowers of getting another mortgage done that's in your target market. If you get someone come across your desk who wants a bridging loan to go and invest or buy property, and you spend hours doing that research, you're better off giving it to somebody who does bridging every single day and can literally tick it off in a matter of moments, and taking 50% for doing nothing, for example. So understanding your superpowers and focusing on those superpowers. So leveraging where you can the inquiries that are coming in is one way that you can potentially do it. The other one you can potentially look at is the increase of your fees. You know, if you've got too many inquiries coming in, that means you're oversubscribed. That means you should look at potentially increasing your fees. I believe everybody should be charging at least £500. For the more complex cases now, you're looking at more like £1,000. And it's not the same industry that I was in back in pre-credit crunch days. You know, the criteria now is probably worse than pre-credit crunch days, because it was literally here today and gone tomorrow. Whereas now the criteria is changing on a consistent basis. Even the sourcing systems that we use can't keep up. Even Criteria Hub and Knowledge Bank can't keep up with the current detail that's changing consistently. And now it's pointless even trying to remember lender criteria, in all honesty, because it's literally geared today, gone tomorrow, and criteria is changing. Lenders are here 1 minute and gone the next. And it's a very reactive market, which we've never seen before. And I can definitely foresee in the future that criteria will get tighter, will get harder to place those trickier cases. And I think it's vital that you manage your own expectations, your client expectations. And if you've got too many leads that you can manage, you make sure that you either increase your fees or you start collaborating with people in your network or people who you know well to get a percentage of the deal, but focus on the ones that you can really, really focus on, because that's going to cause you less stress, which is what it's all about.